What if everything you've been chasing, success, love, purpose, was never out there? What if it's already inside you, right now? Picture this. You're a divine conduit, designed to hold power that could light worlds. But someone forgot to show you where the switch is. You sit there, dim and unlit, wondering why life feels dull, confusing, even powerless. All the while, your divine current is humming just beneath the surface, waiting to surge. Dr. Ernest Holmes, the spiritual pioneer behind the science of mind, discovered this truth after years of struggle and searching. He realized something profound. The power he'd been looking for was never outside of him. It was already there, built in, installed, God-given. He called it the divine mind, an intelligence that flows through all of us. And once you learn how to consciously access it, everything changes. You don't need to earn it. You don't need to be chosen. You just need to flip the switch. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how. But how did Dr. Holmes discover this hidden force? And more importantly, how can you activate it too? Let's begin. Before he became the teacher of thousands, before he wrote The Science of Mind, Dr. Ernest Holmes was just like most of us. Confused, disillusioned, hungry for something more, but not sure what that more even was. He had grown up surrounded by religious ideas, yet none of them gave him a direct sense of connection. He studied, questioned, and meditated, but still felt stuck, like he was standing in a dark room, reaching for a light switch that wasn't there. Then, one day, it hit him. The power he was searching for wasn't out there. It wasn't in a book. It wasn't in a temple. It wasn't reserved for saints or sages. It was already within him, waiting, wired in, dormant but intact. He described it like this: we are lamps already plugged into infinite power. The only thing missing is the conscious act of flipping the switch. And that shift in perception, that simple inner flip, it changed everything. Suddenly, Holmes no longer saw himself as small, separate, or broken. He saw himself as part of something vast, a living extension of the divine mind, not a servant of God, but an expression of God. And here's where it gets personal. Because Holmes wasn't initiated in a temple, he was initiated in the silence of self-inquiry. He didn't have access to some secret realm that's closed to the rest of us. He simply discovered something that's true for every single human being on this planet. You are already plugged in. You may feel disconnected. You may feel tired, lost, or uninspired. You may have spent years, decades even, trying to chase purpose, success, healing. But what if the truth is simpler than all of that? What if you're not missing the power? You're just missing the awareness? Holmes believed that every human being is born connected to the same divine intelligence that created galaxies, black holes, and sunsets. That the same mind that governs stars and cells flows through you right now. And the key to tapping it is simply conscious alignment. You don't have to earn this connection. You don't have to be good enough. You just have to remember. It's like owning the most powerful smartphone in the world, but never turning it on. You don't need to download the signal. You already have it. You just need to unlock the screen. And that's what Holmes realized. He stopped searching outside. He stopped begging for external miracles. He turned inward and found God there. So here's the big question. If this divine power is already inside each of us, why do so few people experience it? Why do so many of us feel disconnected, stuck, unworthy? Why do we live like we're unplugged, when in truth, we're fully connected. That's the mystery we're about to solve. Because knowing this truth isn't enough. You have to experience it. You have to activate it. You have to learn how to flip the switch from theory to reality. And if we're all already connected to this infinite source, why aren't we living like it? Let's find out. What if the biggest illusion we've ever believed is that we're separate from the source? We grow up thinking God is somewhere out there, above the clouds, behind a veil, a force that we must chase, beg, or impress. But Dr. Ernest Holmes taught something radically different. We are not just connected to God, we are individualizations of God. Let that settle in. You are not a distant creation of divine intelligence. You are divine intelligence, localized, a unique channel through which universal mind expresses itself. Holmes called this field the divine mind, a single, infinite consciousness that permeates all of creation. Everything you see, from stars to soil, from silence to thought, is held together by this sacred fabric. And here's the most powerful part. That same divine mind that guides galaxies also moves through you. You're not tapping into some external force. You're simply allowing more of what you already are to come through. This isn't metaphor. This is your blueprint. Let's go a little deeper. Modern science is starting to echo what mystics like Holmes knew all along. Physicists now talk about the quantum field, an invisible web of energy and potential that underlies all reality. Every particle, every atom is just a vibration within this field. And then there's the concept of fractal consciousness. The idea that the whole universe is holographically encoded in every part of itself. Like a drop of ocean containing the memory of the entire sea, you are a microcosm of the macrocosm. You're not just in the universe. You are the universe, experiencing itself through your eyes. Let me give you an image. Picture the universe as a massive, intricate tapestry, a weaving of stars, lives, emotions, timelines, energies. Each soul is a unique thread, a brilliant color, a vibrant motion, a sacred pattern that only you can bring into the design. You are not separate from the tapestry, you are woven into it. The beauty of the whole depends on the authenticity of each thread. And what powers this entire weave? The divine mind, the cosmic loom. It's not just around you, it is you. So what does this mean for your life? It means you don't need to become spiritual. You already are. You don't need to find God. You need to remember that you are an expression of God. This perspective changes everything. You stop striving to be worthy. You stop judging yourself as broken. You stop treating life as something happening to you and begin living as a creator, one with the source. When you recognize yourself as divine mind in motion, you begin to think differently, speak differently, act differently. You no longer ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, you ask, "What is the divine revealing through me?" That's not ego. That's clarity. That's not self-glorification. That's self-realization. Holmes believed this wasn't a belief to adopt. It was a truth to embody. You were born from sacred intelligence. You are powered by sacred intelligence. And you are here to express that intelligence through every word, every choice, every breath. But here's the thing. Even though you're plugged in, you still have to flip the switch, because just like a lamp with unlimited power behind it, if you never activate it, you'll sit in the dark your entire life. You're already connected. But awareness is the circuit closer. And just like electricity powers a lamp, you have to flip the switch to feel it. Now let me show you how. So far, we've talked about the divine mind, about how you're not separate from God, but an expression of it, already connected, already plugged in. But here's the truth. Just because you're connected doesn't mean you're activated. Just like a lamp connected to the grid, it won't light up until you flip the switch. That's what Dr. Ernest Holmes taught through his now famous technique, flipping the mental switch. This may seem symbolic, but it functions like a neural and spiritual key to consciously shift into your divine alignment. And today, you're going to experience it. Let's begin. Wherever you are right now, pause. Allow yourself to be still. Take a deep breath in through your nose and slowly exhale through your mouth. Again, inhale and exhale. Now gently close your eyes. In your mind, visualize a simple light switch, just like the one on your wall, only this one doesn't power a room. It powers you. This switch is connected directly to the divine mind. It's the point where infinite power meets your awareness. Now imagine reaching out with your inner hand and slowly flipping the switch on. As you do, feel a warm, golden current surging through the crown of your head. It pours down into your heart, radiates through your spine, fills your arms, your legs, your fingertips. Every cell of your body is lighting up. You are no longer disconnected. You are aligned. Now, silently affirm to yourself, I am connected to divine power. It flows through me now. Let those words resonate. I am aligned with the infinite. I allow the light to guide me. Stay in that feeling. Feel the calm, feel the energy, feel the clarity. Now, gently open your eyes. That was not imagination. That was activation. Dr. Holmes knew, long before science could measure it, that this kind of inner work can shift your mental, emotional, and energetic state almost instantly. And modern science agrees. When you visualize a clear mental image and pair it with elevated emotion, your brain begins to form new neural pathways. This is called neuroplasticity. Your mind's ability to rewire itself based on focused thought and experience. Even more fascinating, when you enter a calm, focused state like you just did, your brainwaves move from beta into alpha, and possibly even into theta. These are the same frequencies associated with meditation, creativity, deep learning, healing, intuition, and spiritual experiences. So when you flip the switch, you're not just calming down, you're entering the very state where transformation becomes possible. You're not escaping life, you're tuning into the source beneath it. But here's the thing, this isn't a one-time event. It's not a magic button you press once and expect permanent results. It's a practice, a habit, a sacred repetition. Just like going to the gym strengthens your body, flipping your mental switch strengthens your spiritual circuitry. It sharpens your awareness, it aligns your thoughts, it recenters your nervous system, and the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Holmes taught his students to practice this visualization regularly, not just when things fall apart, but especially when they're calm. Because real power is being able to choose your alignment. Before life forces your hand, you can wake up each day and consciously flip the switch. Before the noise of the world even begins, you can train yourself to enter that space of divine alignment whenever you need it. In the middle of a stressful meeting, in a difficult conversation, in the silence of your morning, just pause, close your eyes, breathe, touch the current, and watch your inner light come online. Remember, you don't need to understand all the mechanics. You don't need to be spiritual enough. You don't need to do it perfectly. Just like you don't need to understand how electricity works. To turn on a light, you don't need to fully comprehend divine mind. To feel its power flowing through you, you simply need to flip the switch and let it flow. This was never about one magical moment. It's about building a habit of returning again and again to your divine alignment. And now that you've felt it once, let's talk about how to make this connection stronger every single day. Flipping the mental switch isn't a one-time trick. It's not a spiritual emergency button you press when life gets hard. It's a daily discipline, a habit, a sacred ritual. Dr. Ernest Holmes often compared it to building muscle. If you want spiritual strength, you need spiritual consistency. Just like your body gets stronger when you go to the gym, your connection to the divine gets clearer every time you consciously engage with it. So how do you build that consistency? How do you turn a single practice into a spiritual lifestyle? It starts with a daily rhythm. Holmes encouraged his students to develop a routine, a sacred time each day, to realign with the divine mind. Think of it as your spiritual calibration point. Just 10 to 15 minutes in the morning can shape your entire day. Your morning ritual: align before you act. Here's how to begin. Stillness. Sit somewhere quiet. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, feel your body settle. Let your mind slow down. Visualization. Use the mental switch practice. Picture the light. Feel the energy flowing into you. Affirmation. Speak truth into your field. Say, divine power flows through me now. I am guided. I am aligned. I am ready. Gratitude. List 3 things you're grateful for, big or small. The key is to feel it, not just say it. Gratitude opens the channel wider than any other frequency. It may only take 10 minutes. But what you're doing is activating your internal compass before the world pulls you in 1,000 directions. Your evening ritual: reflect and release. Equally important is how you end your day. This is where you anchor growth and release resistance. Here's a simple night practice. Reflection. Ask yourself, what moments today felt aligned? Where did I feel disconnected? Celebrate. Acknowledge even the smallest wins. A kind word, a patient moment, a shift in your thinking. Release. Mentally let go of what you're carrying. Say, I release what no longer serves me. I trust the divine to carry what I no longer need to hold. This process turns your entire day into spiritual feedback. You stop sleepwalking through life and start living with awareness. Power anchor. Carry the connection into your day. But what about the rest of the time, when you're not sitting in meditation? Holmes taught that your spiritual connection shouldn't be limited to the cushion. So here's a powerful new practice. Create a power anchor. This is a physical gesture, image, or object that instantly reminds you of your divine connection. It could be pressing your hand to your heart, wearing a specific ring or bracelet, touching your index finger to your thumb, whispering a word like light or flow. The key is consistency. Every time you do it, you send a message to your nervous system. I am safe, I am guided, I am aligned. Over time, this anchor becomes automatic. You might feel anxious in a meeting, reach for your anchor, and immediately feel grounded again. You're no longer reacting. You're returning again and again. to the source that's always within you. This is how we train ourselves to live from the inside out. You're not leaving your divine state behind when you go to work, talk to your kids, or drive through traffic. You're carrying it with you, because now you've made it a part of who you are. You've gone from a seeker to a practitioner, from waiting for miracles to living as one. And the more you do this, the more something strange begins to happen. You start to notice things, little things that aren't so little, synchronicities, coincidences that feel way too perfect, answers that appear right when you need them. You realize the divine is speaking, and now you're finally listening. Transition, and the more you engage with this field, the more you begin to see signs everywhere. Let's explore what those signs mean and how they can guide your life in ways you never imagined. You've begun your daily practice. You're flipping the mental switch. You're aligning with divine mind. And then something subtle begins to shift. You think of a friend, and they call. You see the same phrase, number, or symbol 3 times in one day. You ask for guidance, and an answer shows up through a stranger's words or a random book that falls into your hands. What you called random was always resonance. They are signs, evidence that you're in sync with the universe. And at the center of all this is your intuition. Dr. Ernest Holmes believed that intuition is not a special gift. It's not reserved for mystics or psychics. It's a natural capacity, a spiritual sense we all have. He described it as the voice of divine mind speaking through you. And the more you listen, the clearer it becomes. Let's redefine what intuition really is. It's not just a gut feeling. It's not superstition. It's that quiet inner knowing that guides you without logic, without explanation. Holmes saw intuition as one of the highest forms of spiritual intelligence, a way the infinite communicates directly to the individual. And when you trust that voice, life begins to feel less chaotic and more guided. This is where synchronicity enters. The term, coined by Carl Jung, refers to meaningful coincidences. Moments when unrelated events align perfectly with deep personal relevance. Holmes didn't use that word, but he described the same experience. He believed the universe is alive, intelligent, responsive, that it's always speaking, if we're willing to notice. So when you experience synchronicity, understand it as confirmation. You're plugged in, you're on the path, you're no longer living in separation, you're in communion. Let me give you an example. A student of Holmes was feeling lost. She had just lost her job and didn't know what came next. Instead of panicking, she doubled down on her daily visualization. Each morning she affirmed, "I am guided by divine intelligence. The next step is being revealed." One day, she felt a nudge to visit a coffee shop she hadn't been to in years. There, she ran into an old colleague who just happened to be looking for someone with her exact skill set. That meeting led to a new opportunity, better than anything she could have planned. Coincidence? Number. That was alignment. So how do you develop this sensitivity? Here's a simple tool. Intuitive journaling. Each morning after your routine, take 5 minutes. Get quiet. Ask a question. What do I need to hear today? What is the next aligned step? What truth am I avoiding? Then write. Don't censor. Don't think. Let the pen move. At first it may feel like rambling, but soon a deeper voice emerges. Calmer, wiser, quieter than your thoughts. That's your intuition. That's the divine. The more you practice, the more you'll recognize it in real life. You'll pause before saying yes. You'll leave the house a minute later and avoid something you'll never even know you missed. You'll begin to move, not just from logic, but from alignment. And that's when the magic begins. So today, pay attention to patterns, to nudges, to feelings you can't explain. Notice, write, act. Because the universe is talking, your soul is listening, and you were made to respond. But what happens when things fall apart? When no signs show up, only setbacks, pain, or silence? What if those are signs too, but in disguise? Let's look deeper, because the greatest guidance often comes wrapped in your greatest challenge. You've begun to listen, to trust your intuition, to recognize the signs and subtle guidance of the universe. But what happens when the signs stop? When, instead of alignment, you meet resistance? When everything falls apart? Dr. Ernest Holmes had an answer. And it wasn't about avoiding hardship, it was about reframing it. He once said, "The problem is not the problem. The problem is your perception of the problem." Let that land for a moment, because this one shift in thinking can change the entire trajectory of your life. Most of us are conditioned to see problems as blocks, something to fix, fight, or fear. But what if those very problems were portals? What if pain is not punishment but an invitation to wake up, to realign, to go deeper, to become more fully yourself? Let's try this right now. Think of something you're struggling with, a situation that's bringing stress, confusion, or fear. Now ask yourself, what is this challenge trying to teach me? What quality is life inviting me to develop here? What if this is not happening to me, but for me? Take a breath. Be honest. What comes up? Maybe it's patience, maybe it's surrender, maybe it's boundaries, clarity, or courage. The challenge isn't just there, it's shaping you. Holmes believed that our challenges are perfectly tailored to call forth our untapped potential, that life is not random, but intelligent, responsive, designed to bring us face to face with the places inside us that still need light. Here's a real story. A woman in Holmes's community was dealing with financial ruin. She had lost her job. Her savings were gone. Fear consumed her. But instead of spiraling, she applied Holmes's teaching. She asked, "What is life trying to develop in me through this?" The answer she received: trust. So she began to journal her fears. She practiced daily visualization. She affirmed, "I am supported. My needs are met. Abundance flows through me." Then she started noticing synchronicities. A friend offered her freelance work. A grant she forgot about was approved. Within months, she had built a new stream of income, based not on survival, but alignment. Or take another story. A man battling chronic illness turned to Holmes's philosophy. Instead of asking, "Why me?" he asked, "What part of me have I neglected?" He realized he had abandoned his own creativity, and that this illness had slowed him down. So he could rediscover his soul. He began painting again. He meditated daily, and though his condition didn't vanish overnight, his relationship with it changed. He no longer saw it as the enemy, but as a messenger. And healing, slowly but steadily, began to unfold. These are not just inspiring anecdotes, they're examples of what happens when we stop resisting reality and start asking deeper questions. Holmes didn't promise a pain-free life. He offered something better, a way to move through life with awareness, with power, with spiritual maturity. So how do you practice this? Let me introduce a tool, the Reframe Journal. Each day, write down one challenge you're facing. Then answer 3 questions. What is this trying to teach me? What part of myself is being called to grow? What would it look like to respond from alignment, not fear? Do this for 7 days. You'll start to see patterns. You'll shift from victim to creator, from confusion to clarity. Your problems won't magically disappear, but they'll stop controlling you, because you'll realize they were never here to punish you. They weren't obstacles. They were encrypted messages from your future self. So the next time life gets heavy, pause. Ask, what is this trying to reveal? What strength in me is waiting to be born? Because every breakdown can be a breakthrough, if you're willing to look again. And once you've learned to see the opportunity in the obstacle, the next question becomes, how do you manifest what you truly want? How do you translate divine alignment into tangible results? Let's explore that next. You've reframed the challenges. You've seen how obstacles become invitations. But now you ask, how do I move forward? How do I create the life I actually want? Dr. Ernest Holmes gave us the answer in its simplest form. Thought plus emotion equals manifestation. He taught that thinking alone is not enough. It's not just about imagining success, love, abundance. You must feel it, live it, become it, because thoughts are the blueprint. But emotions are the electricity that bring the design to life. Think of it this way. Our emotions are not just feedback. They are frequency broadcasts. They signal your current alignment to the field. When you feel gratitude, joy, confidence, you vibrate at the level of those experiences. And because the universe is vibrational in nature, you begin to attract outcomes that match that frequency. This is not just spiritual language. It's science. The HeartMath Institute, a pioneering research organization, has shown that your emotional state directly impacts your electromagnetic field. They discovered that when you feel positive emotions, like appreciation or love, your heart enters a state called coherence. In this state, your nervous system stabilizes, your brain functions more clearly, and your body becomes more receptive to healing and clarity. It's like tuning your whole system, mind, body, and energy, to the frequency of divine intelligence. Neuroscience backs this up too. When you visualize something paired with elevated emotion, you activate both the prefrontal cortex and the limbic system. This combination triggers new neural pathways, as if the experience were already happening. Your brain doesn't distinguish between something vividly imagined and something physically real. So when you emotionally embody your desired future, you begin to hardwire it into your reality. Let's try it together. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in and out. Now imagine your dream life. Picture a moment where everything you desire is real. You're healthy, empowered, abundant, surrounded by people who love and support you. Now, don't just see it, feel it. Feel the joy rising in your chest, the peace in your heart, the sense of purpose and safety. Let that emotion grow. Let it flood your system. You are not watching this life from a distance. You are living it now. Take one more breath and gently open your eyes. This is the missing piece for most people. They think they need to wait for the manifestation before they feel the emotion. But Holmes taught, feel it first, and then the form will follow. You don't wait to feel successful until success arrives. You feel successful now, so it has a place to land. You don't wait for love to feel lovable. You feel love now, so you become a magnet for it. This is alignment. This is co-creation. So here's your daily practice. Visualize a specific moment from your dream life. Don't just pick a concept, pick a scene. Activate the feeling associated with that moment. Let it move through your body. Anchor it by placing your hand on your heart, or saying a word like yes, now, or truth. This practice conditions your nervous system to live in the frequency of your desired future, even before it appears. And the more often you do this, the more naturally you begin to make decisions, take actions, and perceive opportunities that are aligned with that future. Remember, your outer world is always catching up to your inner world. Don't chase the signal, become the tower, live it now. But sometimes, the deepest power comes not when we feel in control, but when we finally let go. Let's talk about surrender and how releasing control may unlock more than chasing ever could. So far, we've explored how to align, feel, visualize, how to partner with the divine through awareness and emotion. But there's one more element, one that often gets overlooked. It's not as glamorous as action, and it's far harder than control. It's called surrender. Dr. Ernest Holmes taught that surrender is not weakness. It's not giving up. It's not passive. It's an act of radical trust in the greater intelligence that governs all life. Surrender means releasing your grip on how things must happen and allowing the divine flow to carry you. Imagine this. You're in a river. The water is moving steadily, powerfully, with direction. But you're swimming against it, struggling, straining, exhausted, because you believe that upstream holds your answer. But what if it doesn't? What if everything you want is downstream, and all you need to do is let go? Surrender is turning over your fear, your timelines, your need to control, to the infinite intelligence that already knows where to take you. Dr. Holmes said, "We must not only have faith in God, we must have faith that God knows more than we do." That line changes everything, because control feels safe, but it's rooted in fear. Surrender feels vulnerable, but it's rooted in trust, and trust is what opens the gate. Let me give you a story. A man in Holmes's circle had been trying to launch his business for years. He did the visualizations, the affirmations, the strategies, but no matter how hard he worked, nothing seemed to stick. Eventually, exhausted and frustrated, he sat in silence and said, "I surrender. I stop pushing. Guide me where I need to go." That very week, an old friend reached out with an offer to collaborate. One that didn't match the man's original plan, but ended up being 10 times better. It wasn't magic. It was surrender. It was alignment without effort. Effortless flow. Now let's make this real for you. Here's a simple, powerful exercise Holmes might have loved, the balloon release. Find a quiet moment. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and out. Now imagine you're holding a bunch of balloons in your hands. Each balloon carries a burden you've been holding, a fear, a deadline, a painful what if, a person you can't control, an outcome you're obsessing over. See each balloon clearly. Name it. Feel the tension it brings. Now, one by one, release them. Open your hands. Let them float upward into the sky. Watch them grow smaller and smaller until they disappear. As you let them go, say, "I trust in divine timing. I surrender the how. I follow the flow." Pause. Feel the space that opens inside you. The lightness. This is surrender. And it's the most powerful form of movement you'll ever make. Because when you surrender, you don't stop participating. You just stop controlling, You don't stop taking action. You take action from peace, not panic. You start living like the current is on your side, because it is. And often, when you finally let go, the thing you've been chasing quietly finds its way to you. So if you've been gripping too tightly, if anxiety's been whispering louder than intuition, if you've been trying to force the next step, pause, breathe, release. Say, I don't have to figure it all out today, I just have to stay open. Because surrender isn't giving up, it's getting out of the way. So the universe can do its part. You've surrendered the fear. You've opened to trust. Now let's anchor that energy into your day and your life. Let's talk about creating a rhythm of power. You can return to any time, anywhere. You've surrendered. You've opened the door to divine flow. But here's the thing. Spiritual connection is not built in moments of crisis alone. It's built in the quiet, ordinary moments you practice every day. Dr. Ernest Holmes understood this deeply. That's why he encouraged a daily ritual. Not for religious purposes, but for energetic alignment. He believed that our connection to the divine is like a muscle. The more we use it, the stronger, more natural, more effortless it becomes. And it doesn't take hours. It doesn't require a mountain, a monastery, or a retreat. Just 10 intentional minutes a day can radically shift the way you think, feel, and manifest. Let's break it down. Here is Holmes's core framework: meditation, gratitude, affirmation. Each element works together to realign your inner frequency with the divine mind. We call this the 10-minute miracle routine. Morning, the activation, 5 to 7 minutes. Step 1, meditation, 2 minutes. Sit in stillness, close your eyes. Breathe in deeply and exhale slowly. Feel yourself settle. Release the mind. Tune inward. This quiet space opens the portal between you and divine intelligence. Step 2, gratitude, 2 minutes. Say out loud or write 3 things you're truly grateful for. Feel each one in your heart. Gratitude is a frequency. It tunes you into receiving. Step 3, affirmation, 2 to 3 minutes. Choose 1 or 2 powerful truths to declare. Speak them with confidence. Try, I am aligned with the infinite. Divine wisdom guides my day. I allow abundance, clarity, and peace to flow through me. Everything I need is already on its way to me. Say them until you believe them, then say them until you embody them. This is how you pre-program your energy for the day ahead. Evening, the integration, 5 minutes. Now let's talk about closing your day. Too many people carry their stress into sleep, but Holmes knew that reflection turns experience into spiritual refinement. Here's a simple evening rhythm. Step 1, night reflection, 2 minutes. Ask yourself, what went well today? Where did I feel most aligned? When did I feel disconnected, and what can I learn from it? This step builds self-awareness, without judgment, only curiosity. Step 2, synchronicity log, 1 minute. Write down 1 coincidence or moment of divine timing you noticed today. A conversation, a symbol, a gut feeling that proved right. The more you document them, the more they begin to multiply. Step 3, release, 2 minutes. Close your eyes and say, I release what no longer serves me. I hand it back to the divine. I trust that tomorrow I will be shown my next step. Let your body relax. Let your spirit rest. You've done your part. Now let the universe do its work. The 7-day challenge. Now here's your invitation. Try this routine for 7 days, morning and evening, just 10 minutes a day. Track how you feel. Notice what shifts, what patterns emerge, what flows more easily. You don't have to do it perfectly, just show up consistently, because spiritual power isn't built in extremes. It's built in rhythm, in devotion, in gentle discipline, in choosing to return to the light, again and again and again. This daily routine isn't just about feeling good. It's about becoming magnetic to peace, to purpose, to people, to opportunity. You begin to walk through life with your energy calibrated to truth. Your frequency tells the universe who you are, and the universe responds in kind. Holmes often said, "The universe is not responding to what you want, it's responding to what you are." So be intentional, be aligned, be consistent, because when you build this sacred rhythm, life begins to feel lighter, more fluid, more guided, and day by day, you become the living proof. That divine intelligence doesn't live in temples. It lives in you. But in the end, what if you were never just a participant in life? What if you weren't just reacting to reality, but creating it? Let's talk about the final key: owning your role as the programmer of your world. You've flipped the switch. You've connected to the divine mind. You've visualized, felt, surrendered, aligned. Now comes the final truth, the one that changes the game entirely. Dr. Ernest Holmes didn't just believe we are part of a divine system. He believed we are co-creators of that system, not just players in the game, but programmers of it. We are not here to merely respond to reality. We're here to author it, to consciously write the script we want to live. Holmes taught, every time man thinks, he sets the law of mind in motion. We are thinking into the creative field itself. This isn't poetry. This is mechanics. Your thoughts are instructions, your beliefs are source code, your emotions are fuel, and your consciousness is the keyboard. That tells the universe what to run next. Let's go one step deeper. Modern thinkers and physicists have proposed something called simulation theory. The idea that our universe may behave like a digital simulation, coded, intelligent, precise. Now imagine this. What if God isn't just the creator, but the original programmer? What if divine mind is the master operating system from which all other systems emerge, and you're a sub-program, but one that has been given full access to rewrite the local code? You're not just running a life, you're writing it. So the question becomes, what are you coding right now? With every belief you hold, you set the parameters for what's possible. With every word you speak, you shape the structure of your reality. If you speak doubt, the code obeys. If you speak faith, the code shifts. If you act from alignment, reality updates. You are not a victim of this world. You are the architect of your experience within it. Holmes said, there is a power for good in the universe, and you can use it. But maybe the most important truth is this: it's already using you. The question is, are you aware of it? So here's your invitation. Today, right now, take back your authorship. Consciously choose the thoughts you want to energize, the beliefs you want to live by, the story you want to embody. No more default settings. No more waiting for a patch update. Your code is waiting. Are you ready to run it? You're not just a spark within the system. You are the system expressing itself as a spark. Not just a reflection of power, but its expression. You are not waiting for a miracle. You are the miracle, so stand in it, speak from it, create with it. You are divine power in motion. Now go live like it.